Everything's beeping me. What the hell's going on here?
Welcome to London.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here I am with my good friend James in his Range Rover Sport P400 HST.
Correct.
Got it.
You got it that time, huh?
I did indeed.
Good.
And we are going very fast through London, so this will be a very slow review. So yeah, man, why did you tell us why you went for this model in particular over all of the other models?
Yeah, I mean, at the time SVRs were a fortune. There is another one just below it, I think the P525 V8,
Right.
but that was a bit aggressively priced, and still had a bit of insurance. Just go around to the right, it's a bit tight. Yeah, so the SVR is the one we wanted, but at the time insurance was a bit of a problem. Still not great.
Probably worse now, right?
P525, I don't know, it seemed a little overpriced for what it was. And then I came across this one, which had a few things that which sort of took my fancy: the carbon, the Alcantara, things like that.
Absolutely. And
it's got plenty of power. I didn't buy this for it to be rapid. I didn't really care, to be honest. I just wanted to sort of, I think your word is waft.
Yes.
I just wanted to waft. I just wanted to chill out.
To waft, man.
But it's still, it's still going to get a move on if you need to. In fact, it's pretty rapid.
Absolutely. What is the 0 to 60 actually?
It's like late fives. I swear, like 5, 9, 6.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
So what's the horsepower on this?
400.
In the name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man.
But, at the time, I reckon an equivalent SVR was 20, 25 more. And it just wasn't worth it. Plus the insurance.
And
everything.
Yeah.
100% wasn't worth it. And I haven't regretted it. I still see the SVR and think, really nice.
Yeah.
But it's not worth that. And the gap between them now is even bigger. So, yeah.
For the same year?
Yeah. So it was like a year and a half when I bought it. So pretty new, only had like 15,000 miles on it, and an SVR of 15,000 miles was just under 100 grand.
What, this was a year ago?
It wasn't far off. It would have been a bit more than that, probably a year and a half. 95 grand.
Same reg?
Yeah, pretty similar. So this is 70 reg.
Man, you can pick them up for like 60 grand or something. Anyway,
it's unreal.
We'll get onto that in a second. So the ride is very similar, and it's a very good ride, as Range Rovers, pretty much all Range Rovers are. But I've noticed the steering wheel was different. This is an Alcantara one, which you did tell me that it kind of wears. Looks and feels very nice.
It does.
But it does.
The one I had was so worn. I changed it, as you know, which is a bit...
Oh, worn, yeah.
It was a bit crazy, but I think it was beyond kind of repair. I think the lady owner before me
had a ring or something.
Like a ring or something, and it was so worn down. There was just nothing you could do to it.
Yeah. Is this standard on this model?
Standard on the HST, yeah. I don't think...
Is there any other models that do?
I don't think so. I don't think so. No doubt people retrofit it or whatever, but...
Yeah.
My last few cars have had Alcantara, I just like it, but you do have to look after it, and ideally buy the car pretty new. If you buy a few years old, it's going to look a bit rank. So
because you bought this, what was the mileage when you bought this?
15,000. 15,000,
and the steering wheel was pretty worn, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's done nothing.
Yeah, so the car smelled fresh. It was brand new, but then the steering wheel looked like 4 years old.
Yeah.
So I had to get it changed. The gear knob's actually looking a bit better.
Oh, the Alcantara gear stick, very nice.
I tried to give that a clean, but...
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. But definitely on this model, on the facelift, they did a great job with the infotainment system, because is this Apple CarPlay standard?
I imagine it is standard, yeah, for 2018 onwards.
Right.
Pretty certain it is. But yeah, it's a big change, isn't it? Because the other one, the screen, I feel, is so much smaller.
Was smaller than this, and it had got a lot of criticism for being delayed and slow. When you press a button, it takes 1.5 seconds to actually do it.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see they've changed that, because that was kind of dated, and then they've got this secondary screen for what can you put on there, like
normally if you're playing a song on CarPlay, it will come up with all the graphics of the album artwork, which is actually really nice.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
And as you know, like a lot of really new cars, like the new Sport and new Range, they have a bigger main screen, which is fine, but you lose this, right? So it's just all about the single screen.
Is that the brand new ones?
Yeah, exactly. But also, a lot of other cars are doing that.
Yeah, they're going for the big screens.
But this
Tesla.
dual screen is actually pretty cool. It is a little bit slow.
I like it.
But
it's slow.
I think it still looks kind of modern.
Yeah. Oh no, it does. Compared to the Sport that I reviewed, this is so much more modern.
Yeah, I agree.
And I like the little carbon you have here and around the car.
I don't know quite what this is, some sort of vinyl, but it's nice.
But it looks kind of carbony.
Yeah, I think it's doing all right. If you think about cars that are 4 years old, I think a lot of them, especially like German manufacturers, they're looking old already.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think it's looking all right. You know?
But interior-wise, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, both, to be honest, interior and exterior. I think it still looks okay on the outside, especially from the back. I think the front, I guess, is kind of dating a little bit. What do you think? I think
the facelift was needed, especially interior-wise, and they did a great job. It's very
2013.
Yeah, I think it was 2013 to 2016 or 17, I think, and then they brought it in late 2017, 2018, the facelift. It's subtle. From the front, it's just they updated the LED headlights and the grille. I'm not sure what else. I haven't had a proper look.
The rears.
Yeah, but on the front.
Oh, on the front.
And then the rear, it looks a lot better because the one I had was it just had those. It just looks not very sporty. It just looks kind of crap. But this, maybe I've seen quite a few, but this one looks better because it has just cooler exhaust tips, I feel, which is what it needed to start with. It had these rubbish little small kind of twin exhausts.
I think this is the problem with black wheels as well. I think obviously at one point it was like the thing to have, and then I think we both went off it at around the same time. Yeah. And as you know, I got this with black wheels. And when it was like tyre shined and looking great out the showroom, I was like, okay, that's cool, but it was still a little bit kind of boy racer. Yeah. So I got them redone like polished silver.
I think it looks
way better.
Yeah.
Way better. And just hopefully less sort of try hard.
Yeah. But going back to this model in particular, we've got all the carbon accents on the, what is that? The air intakes and
fake
on
ones.
The rear. Fake air intakes.
Fake bonnet scoop air intakes are indeed in carbon fibre. So yeah, and but then
it makes it feel sporty. I mean,
side blades.
Yeah,
it does.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
And especially when it's clean. When the black is really clean, and obviously the carbon wrap or whatever it is, I don't know if it's real carbon, might be actually, is really clean. It looks great. So
no, it does look good.
Yeah.
What is this?
This is Alcantara.
What is it?
But it's
weird seeing it in like a grey colour.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't sure if I liked it at the beginning, but it's kind of nice and it kind of brings a bit more light.
Yeah, true, than it being dark.
But I mean, that is essential. I'm not really sure why they sell them without them.
Is this an extra?
It is
one
an
hell
extra,
of a pan roof.
And obviously it doesn't move because it's got no split in it. But
so it's just a pan roof.
It's just a pan roof, but it's just a massive window, so it never feels. Well, it's always light in here, especially in the back.
No, it is light. And you can put the blind across, can you?
You can put the blind across, but I don't really like that. Just keep it open.
So yeah, talk to me about some figures if you know them. First of all, I'm guessing the manufacturer would have said, Land Rover would say this does MPG early to mid 30s.
Oh, it could well have done.
But what is the real world? I'm looking at the dash right now and I can see nowhere near that. So.
I reckon my average is 21.
Yep, 20 and a half MPG it says
20
here.
and a half. And I've tried to get that up. And it like you might get it to like 22, 23, or if you reset it for a motorway journey. But as soon as it becomes like an average of urban and rural, it's like 21. But
you do a lot of city driving. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So maybe people that commuted would commute on the motorway. It might be a different story altogether.
Yeah.
So bear that in mind, guys. Doesn't mean that it's going to do 20 wherever you go.
I think I set it on live MPG. Yeah, it is. So it's irrelevant here. But I wanted to see like 60 on a motorway cruise control what it could do, but I still haven't had a chance to actually do that.
Really?
But yeah, the average never really moves. But you know, honestly, that's what I've seen in the past with smaller cars and everything. It's just London MPG.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what you have.
Yeah,
I suppose. But yeah, the steering wheel buttons are obviously updated. Everything's digital now. On the older, before the facelift, it was pre-facelift. It was like everything was buttons. but now everything's kind of. Is it digital or is it just still a button?
It's not touch, so you still have to. I think it might be called haptic feedback or whatever. Actually, no, to lie. It's a proper button because it actually moves. It's a proper button.
It just looks futuristic.
It's better, and actually, again, like the new one, I don't know. Like I think the controls feel a little bit cheaper on the wheel and sort of down here and stuff.
Yeah,
from what I've seen. Yeah. When they gave me that Velar as a loaner, I didn't realise that so much of that would carry through into the really expensive models.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You went in that Velar.
I did.
Yeah.
It was plasticky.
It's not the one.
We didn't like it.
No.
Sound system was good though.
It was, as is this one actually.
Yeah.
This one,
yeah,
I think is like the middle meridian. They do have like a crazy one they used to. Yeah, they only do one now. But this is the middle one, and it's hands down the best I've ever had from other cars. It's the best. Really, really good. And then they do one with like double the output. I think it's like 1800 watts or something.
That's the one I had in that one.
No.
Yeah, you know, because it has the surround sound.
Are you kidding?
I was a bit disappointed though.
Maybe it's been blasted.
Maybe, I don't know.
What have you tuned it though? Like the treble and the bass and.
I had to fill around with it. It was all because the 1800 watt one is when you have the surround sound.
Yeah,
it's like that's. But maybe I was expecting it to be like ridiculous. And yeah, I didn't do much for me. And that was like a 6-7K option or something, I think.
All I would say is when I got this, I was like, not great. And then I played around with it. There are loads of settings, like Dolby Digital and loads of stuff.
Oh, for this?
Yeah, there are loads of presets.
They could have updated the system as well.
Probably, yeah.
Everything was new.
But, this is great.
So you've driven one of your friend's SVRs, which is, I guess, that'll be the next model up, right?
Yeah, P525 and then that.
Right.
Crazy thing.
Tell me, go on.
It was awesome, honestly.
The SVR was it?
Yeah, it was great. And I would have loved it, honestly. But I think I don't know. I'm doing so much less out of town driving now.
Yeah,
it's just purely in town.
Right.
You know,
so it makes more
the question
sense.
Why I have even this one, but I wouldn't get any benefit from that if I had that right now. I mean, driving in town is so similar. To be fair, it's not like it's stiff suspension and stuff like that.
Oh no, absolutely.
So it is a great all-rounder.
Yeah.
But so is this, and I think the main thing for me, which I think I might have got tired with, was, what would we say, 20 mpg, just over. I think the SVR would have done like 10.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
I can't believe honestly. That would kill me off. I'd be like, no, I'm not driving that.
Well, I mean, in theory, if you don't do any mileage, like, is it much for a problem? Well,
yeah, true. Well,
no, but I mean, yes and no. But I think after a while, it's just like, this is ridiculous. And you know, even going home to see parents or something, 30 miles. That is. I mean, I think if you drive an SVR quickly, or like briskly, it does about 200 to a tank.
Really?
And it's obviously as much as this or more to fill up. So you're actually stopping a lot to fill it up.
Yeah.
I remember my friend saying that you sort of, filling up twice on the way to sort of Devon or something like that. It's
no way.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, so it's more than, so if Devon, say, was 220 miles from London.
Yeah.
West Devon.
Right.
And it'll probably do, if you're driving it briskly or whatever, maybe 190, 200 to a tank full of luggage and stuff. So you're literally filling up twice on the same day.
My Golf does 500.
I bet it
600
does.
to the tank.
Is that petrol or diesel?
That's a petrol 1.4.
Oh, right.
I think it's 40 mpg, but
weighs about 1.4 kilos.
Yeah, probably true. But no, even just driving it now. I've been driving it for about 10 minutes or something.
Easy.
It just feels so comfortable, so smooth. I guess that's what Range Rover has been known to be.
Yeah.
And it's just effortless, and they just make you feel special, everything feels effortless, comfortable. You have everything here. The spec is unbelievable. Everything you need, which I understand why people that have a Range Rover or have in the past, that they always go back to them and they love them, because they are good regardless of their weaknesses and their drawbacks. They're just such a nice car to own.
It's just easy. It's just, it sort of wafts around, and you get out. It's the first car I've ever had where you get out of it and you actually feel like you haven't really gone anywhere. In terms of like, you know, a lot of cars you'll get out and you're like, oh, you know, sort of back hurting and things like that.
The seats are actually really comfortable.
They are comfortable, but I feel like sometimes you're in a car and you think you're comfortable, and then you get out and you're like, okay, I've been in a car for a long time.
Yeah.
But this is one of those cars where you just float from place to place. So.
I think that's part of the selling point as well.
And that is why they're still so popular, I think. Because there's so many reasons not to have one.
I know. Even with everything that's going on at the moment with insurance and theft, there's still so many around.
There's still so many around, considering all the, you know, reasons not to have one.
So I can only compare this to the pre-facelift 5-litre V8. It isn't as loud, but I don't mean loud in terms of, you know, like just revving and everything, but I just mean going around town. You could always hear that drone, which I can see how that would maybe get a bit annoying. But this is reasonably quiet, man.
It's really
I mean,
quiet.
unless... Does it have like a valve button or a sport where it might open the...
Yeah, you can. You're certainly not going to hear it over the mic. But yeah, you can dynamic.
Dynamic, right.
Actually, dynamic under load sounds quite good.
Really?
Yeah.
But I've heard you driving it before.
Yeah.
And it's quiet. I can actually hear it more now.
Can you?
But then when you want to put your foot down, it actually sounds pretty decent, right?
It does.
So you have that as well, even for a V6. This is a V6.
It is.
It's got that poke.
I think it sounds actually quite nice. You know, if I was a bit younger, I probably would have done something with the exhaust, but I'm glad I didn't, because it would have been ridiculous. And I'm trying to keep the thing in warranty. I've just extended it because it's just gone past 3 years.
Yeah, you have it extended. How much do they charge? Is that Land Rover that's...
Yeah, it's Land Rover. I wouldn't trust anyone else unless Land Rover was unaffordable. Right, so it's like 80 quid a month. But it's just peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Because you know these things can go really wrong.
And Range Rovers don't seem to have the greatest track record.
Absolutely
of reliability.
not.
So.
And I was like, do I have to bring it in? Do you need to have a look at it? And they're like, no, as long as you renew it before it goes over the 3-year period, then you basically just, you know, I guess they're sort of just taking the risk on it, which is great for me, not so great for them, maybe.
Yeah.
But,
so would you recommend everyone that buys a Range Rover to take out the warranty?
There aren't too many of these left, I guess, that are within that window. So,
what is the...
maybe that's not true, actually. No, that's absolute rubbish. So if we go back 3 years from now, that's early 2021, I guess these stopped being made in early 22 or something. Yeah. I could easily be wrong.
I think you're right, late 21 or early 22 or something like that.
Well, there's some cheaper warranties around, but it's just not worth it. Absolutely not worth it.
But they have specific guidelines, don't they, to
who?
Land Rover to have the warranty? It has to be a certain age and has to be a certain miles, right?
My only requirement is that I renewed it. I'm sure it was. I think within 3 years of the car being built, which for me was December 23.
Okay.
There might have been sort of mileage cap, but I would have been well under it anyway.
Right. And it's just for the year.
Well, yeah, it's an annual thing. I can't remember if I committed to any longer than that. I think it was just a year.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, it's a peace of mind thing. I mean, it is costing me more than it did before, but it's just part of it. You can't avoid it, and if you do avoid it, you're going to get stung.
That's the thing. I would rather have it, actually. It's just peace of mind, isn't it? Like you say. Oh.
It's a cost of ownership, man. It's not worth skimping.
This is pokey. This is more than pokey enough.
But you got it in pokey mode now.
I've got it in pokey mode.
Yeah.
I've turned the waft mode off.
Yeah.
It's like just as good as the 5-litre V8, but it also has probably
high praise.
Yeah. Well, I think in terms of it's what I mean is it's more than enough than you need, and it has better MPG, which I love MPG. But that's just me. That's how I feel. But I mean, I think this would be a good option for anyone. Especially as they're trying to get rid of diesels now. So this being the V6 petrol, I think it would be a good choice if you don't want to splash out on a thirsty SVR or the, what was it called, the P...
Which one? P525. So I think that's the non-supercharged V8.
Oh, so it's just naturally aspirated.
But it still guzzles, but it's not. It hasn't got all the SVR kit and stuff, so it looks like this, but with the V8 engine. I mean,
oh really?
Yeah.
So there's nothing to say that it's
no. It's a bit like the one that you've had.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's perfect for me. So it's got the poke that the diesels don't have. If there is, you know, if London, well, there's so many things going around on diesels right now in terms of, you know, petrols are not that far off in terms of MPG.
No. Yeah.
And the diesels are obviously guaranteed to be more expensive to fill up. You can keep going straight if you want. Okay. Guaranteed to be more expensive to fill up. I think at the moment it's
diesels,
about 10, 12p more.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and they were saying they actually tracked it very closely. 2 similar cars, one diesel, one petrol, and it literally worked out the same, whatever. So
really,
yeah. And I didn't really want a diesel.
Interesting. Yeah, because actually, no, go on. You go ahead.
Well, I think they're trying to get rid of them. I think it's seen as a dirty fuel.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is why I mentioned with the 3 litre petrol.
And obviously, you can't have the older ones now in London, or they charge.
Because of ULEZ, it's ridiculous. But also
stay away from that.
But also with the petrol if you live in the city and you're going to do, you know, not much mileage like you, it's just short trips, a petrol is way better because the diesel can get clogged up.
There is that as well.
PDF. So this is probably, if you do live in the city and you want a Range Rover and you're doing short journeys and not many miles, this is probably the model you should be looking at in terms of Range Rover Sport.
I think so there's a lot less of them. So the P400 HST, there's way fewer of them.
Do you know the exact number?
No.
Maybe we'll find that for you.
Absolutely not. Put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
But on Auto Trader, there's so much less. The 6-cylinder diesel, they're just everywhere. There must be so many of those on Auto Trader, and hopefully supply and demand, you know, if there's less of them, it will hold its value slightly better. It has to, surely. Yeah. Also because it's got, you know, it's arguably more desirable, the Alcantara and stuff.
Absolutely.
Engine sounds good, it's fast, I think on a motorway it probably isn't bad. I just never go on a motorway.
Reasonable MPG.
I think it would be. I think you'd certainly be in the 30s.
I think it's similar to the 3 litre diesels. They can only be high 30s or maybe 40. Who knows?
Not like average.
No.
Like yeah, I mean
true. Every day.
Cruise control on a motorway, I'm sure you get something decent.
But the thing is, with the diesels, you always have that worry that there could be a new law coming for ULEZ, and now it's up to 2018 now, we don't want diesels in London. Yeah. So it's always a worry, and then that will, you know, the value of your car will decrease.
Is it 2018?
Massively. No, it's up to, I think, 65 reg.
No, I'll put it on the screen.
15. But no, I'm saying if it was to go to 2018, once you bought like a 16, then, you know, but with petrols, I don't think they will do that, but hey, we don't know. But they're a bit more cleaner, so
I don't know. I thought that was a risk for sure. But there was just no incentive for the diesel. I don't think it was that much cheaper. A little bit, but it will just depreciate in line with that anyway. Yeah, list price would have been cheaper maybe for the diesel. But if you don't want the SVR and you're in town,
or the P5, whatever it's called.
Well, that thing, nobody buys those.
Really?
I would have been one of those dumb idiots who actually would have done it because it was cheaper than the SVR. But I'm glad I didn't actually, because it's actually got more to it with the carbon outside and things like that.
How much more was it than this?
Which, the P525? It's like the same. Literally.
Same price.
Yeah, so they depreciated a lot from the start. So this was worth as much as the P525.
Really?
In the end, I don't think I could find the spec I wanted on a P525.
Right, yeah.
But
you're a big spec man.
Yeah, I mean,
if the spec sheet ain't big, man, you ain't buying.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably gone for the most common colour, right?
The colour? No, I don't mind the colour.
Black and black.
But I mean, these have loads of spec in general, like standard, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think adaptive cruise is one of the things it doesn't have that you get standard on the autobiography. It's a nice hotel.
Adaptive cruise. Oh, yeah.
It doesn't have adaptive cruise, but that's kind of lazy. Like, you don't really need that. Yeah. The fridge. Everyone talks about the fridge. It doesn't have a fridge.
Oh. Yeah.
It's just got a little bin. But
a bin?
Well, it's
you got a bin instead of a fridge.
Enormous.
Oh yeah,
literally huge. And in there, you can either leave it as cup holders, or you can take the whole thing out, and it becomes like this deep.
Right.
So there's loads of space. It goes without saying.
Yeah, there's loads of practicality in it, isn't there?
But I guess you might think, you know, is there as much space in the Sport versus the big one? There definitely is.
Yes.
It's got 2 glove boxes.
Absolutely.
it's a great all-round car, and it sort of shrinks around you to a sense. You know, it doesn't feel scary to drive, right?
No.
I think it feels quite
sportier.
compact.
Yeah. No, I agree actually. The Range Rovers that I've driven, the big ones, they're like boats, man.
Do you think so?
Well, the older models for the.
Do they feel much bigger? Because it probably isn't much bigger.
They're massive, man. They are so much taller. So it's like you're in an actual hotel room or something. And then, they're about the same width, but they're just so high.
Yeah.
And they just waft around corners.
Yeah.
Like a boat. But I do really like them. But this is way more, sport focused. Okay, this is the elephant in the room. How has the reliability been for you? How long have you had it, and how many miles have you done in this?
I've had it a year and a half.
It's been that long already?
I've done a grand total of 5,000 miles.
5,000 miles?
5,000 miles, and all the wrong sort of miles, stop, start, all this stuff.
Yeah, which is probably testing it out, actually.
Probably.
Well, wear and tear.
You say it jokingly, but genuinely it's so bad for the car, as we know, that I kind of was testing it.
Okay.
I don't have any wood trim in here, but I need to touch wood. It hasn't gone wrong yet. I feel like we've probably jinxed it now, but it hasn't gone wrong. The only thing which is temperamental, and I've always had something temperamental in a car, is sometimes, and I've tried loads of different cables. Tried loads of different cables. Sometimes it won't connect to CarPlay, so it's not like a loose connection or anything. It just feels sort of buggy, but it doesn't happen that often. It's literally probably 1 in 50 drives. But if that 1 in 50 drive is you're going to Devon, you need the CarPlay. That is annoying, but I don't know. I don't have anything to compare it against. I don't know if it's a common fault or whatever. But
interesting. What, it just won't work?
No,
for that day.
No, and if you pull over or whatever and you do the whole start-stop routine, it tends to sort of reset itself. But if you're in a traffic jam, you just try and open the door and turn it off and on again, which can often reset things. Right. That didn't do it. So that's the only annoying thing.
Interesting.
I think it's probably got less annoying things than any car I've ever known.
Really?
100%.
Wow. That's a good pro. That's a good positive for the.
It's a really good positive.
The Land Rover badge.
I think, yeah. I mean,
but if anything were, I mean, you've got peace of mind with the warranty. So.
Well, yeah. I think in theory, I do have that. I think that they will maybe try and screw you slightly. That if it's, I think if it's a wear and tear part, it's not covered. I don't know exactly. I didn't read the T's and C's on that, and no doubt it will play to their advantage at some point. But it's feeling smooth. So.
It does feel very smooth, actually.
Yeah.
Very nice. What do you think to the start-stop?
I know you don't like it.
I just feel like it's just so much wear and tear.
You can turn it off, man.
Oh, you have to go on the screen?
Yeah. There you go. It's gone.
So you like it, do you?
Start-stop?
Yeah.
It used to, I don't know if it's because I started using the other key, but it used to never come on. And that I did like. In short, I hate it.
Right. You hate the start?
Yeah, I hate it.
Well, I'm glad we agree on that, yeah.
It's not great. No. But
does it save fuel?
No, of course it doesn't.
How are you going to know? Yeah, I know.
You're not going to go from like 20 to 30 mpg because of that. So yeah, irrelevant. Yeah. Where have you brought me here?
I don't know where the hell we are, to be honest. I don't know London.
This screams congestion charge here, I tell you.
Does it? Well, how the hell do we get out of it?
Make a left at end of Brompton Road. Just don't go right. Anyway,
guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. You wait there. Anyway, guys, nearly killed someone. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this review of the Range Rover Sport P400 HST.
Correct.
And I hope it's been informative or has helped you.
Nice. What was that?
That's very nice.
F12.
Yeah. So I'm sure you'll be seeing more of James in the channel, and
oh, you think so? Am I allowed back?
I think so, guys. What do you think? And we'll see you in the next one. Well, you'll see me in the next one for sure. Take care.
Cheers.